Thank you for still being here. We're happy to present you EUtopia. We want to bring systematic innovation into European universities. Why? Well, our times are changing fast, and the education sector is not really known for adapting quick, so we need to change this. And here's the problem. So, are there any students in this room? 2? Those who only studied in the past? And do you remember the struggle with lecturers, sitting there and dreaming off? Yeah? Well, that's how 20 million students in Europe currently feel like. And as a collective, they spend 1,700 years, every month in lectures. And that's a lot of time to innovate, a lot of time to solve new problems. So how do we unlock this collective potential of our students? This is what we want to achieve with our project. The ecosystem, well, it starts with universities. Universities should provide learning resources, they should provide a room for students to collaborate and to learn. Then it's us students, usually pretty curious. Most of us are also ambitious, you can tell. And we have ideas. We have concrete project ideas that we want to work on, if we would have the time. And this is what we want to do. Our students will be able to propose projects which will be validated by our committee. The projects that have been validated by our committee will be distributed to our decentralized network of universities, so other students can join this project. So you could imagine to collaborate with a student from the University of Barcelona, one maybe in Paris, and 2 colleagues from your local university. We would be naive if students that are used to sitting in lecture rooms now all of a sudden would be geniuses in projects. So we systematically attach facilitators to teach them agile working processes, design thinking approaches, user-centric work. And on top of this, we connect corporates and governments. Why? Governments, they usually have a big interest in innovation. They also have the money and some experts. So we want to connect them so that you as a student can solve an ambitious challenge and get funds for this. And governments, on the other side, they usually care a lot about social good. So there's the UN, which is releasing sustainability goals every year. And we want to help students to be aware of them so that they can join a team and solve these social challenges. So we bring real problems and real project work into universities. Blockchain hackathon, why blockchain? It's a good question. If you imagine you would propose your idea, your very best idea into a network, would you care about someone taking your idea? You probably would. At least that's my experience talking to many students. That's what universities care about. So we cryptographically store the moment in which you propose your project, so that you always can say, hey, I did this milestone, or I provided this project idea at this point in time. We want to use transparent allocations for funds. So we will use smart contracts. So once you have achieved the milestone with the key requirements, you would be eligible to get the TCS and funds. And the overall network will be a network of decentral authorities in the form of universities, governments, and corporates to collaborate. And where exactly do we use blockchain? We use it for the selection process of project proposals. We will also use it to negotiate in an agile, flexible way the milestones for each of these projects. Because as you know in the beginning, you don't really know where you will end up. But we want to use the knowledge of the network so that you can properly choose your milestones. And in the end, as mentioned before, we will distribute the funds via smart contracts. So that's not as many non-profit organizations that will get a bunch of money and nobody really knows where it goes. We will make it in a really transparent way. Our design process, as mentioned, there are many stakeholders involved. So now, before the pilot project starts, we are negotiating with each of these stakeholders the logic in which they will want to engage with this network, and will code this logic into the smart contract. The smart contract then will determine whenever or not you and your project milestone is sophisticated enough to get your fund. we use technology in a user-centered and human-centered way, and we want to call this an ethical design approach. Because in times in which nobody really knows what's happening, I think the most important good we have is that humans will be served by technology. And as some of, he's not here anymore, one of the participants raised concern, he's there. He raised concerns. He was saying, well, now that everybody can see what you did at what point in time, what about privacy? What if the future employee would say, well, you're only working in the night, I don't want to work with you. Yeah, some people have concerns like this. So we are thinking that you as a student, you have full control with whom you want to share your work and your milestones. And if you want to provide someone access, you will simply send them the key to access your work. Well, it sounds ambitious and sounds cool, but how can it work? We identified potential risks, such as students that are used to sit passively in a lecture are most likely not being experienced. So we will provide them assistants and coaches to properly guide interdisciplinary teams. We also need to avoid a social credit system. Because some people say, well, you can't really rate and score someone based on his way of learning, especially when he's still developing. And as mentioned before, we don't want anybody to access what you did during your studies, so we will manage access to your transcripts. And also really important, even though tech is really cool and writing code is awesome, and in that way you can reach the whole world, there are also still other people that provide a lot of value without writing a single line of code. So this is a challenge that we're taking on, that even if you're not able to code, you still are able to get credit points and potentially funds. So beyond blockchain, we are using technology to support the cultural change that needs to happen in Europe. We use technology to enable universities to better serve the talents, to better help them grow their potential. And overall, we are implementing a systematic approach for collaboration in Europe. In one sentence, we incentivize students to learn through solving real social and innovation challenges. We think if we are able to unlock 20 million young creative people, the biggest problems in the world are our biggest opportunities. So if you think that you know a professor or a university or even a company that would be interested to work with students, just connect us. And we will make this pilot project happen.